Good morning. What a time to be a Crystal Palace fan. If they can keep this first 11 and that manager next season, they could be a force to be reckoned with. Look at this performance under the new manager. Outstanding and continuing against Manchester United. Irish Premier Division and Irish First Division still a little young in the league. And that's where we're going to pick up upsets that might cost us a few quid. You look straight into the eyes of Shamrock Rovers here. 1.36 favourite pre-match. Although there's no real excuses, but there are 12 or so matches being played. But this was your angle in. Own goal. Good to see, because it's not a deserved lead. And a quick equaliser there from Mr. Kenny. But would we have been tempted in at the 1-2? It's all dependent on the in-play stats. Because at 1-3, you're dead in the water. Particularly if there's no comeback. So a difficult match to assess. We've seen our upsets occur early season Sweden, early season Norway, Lillestrøm, Malmo recently. So it's very difficult for us to get a handle on early season matches because quite simply the form lines are not there, are they? So not much to report yet in the Irish leagues, but I will be starting to research them properly once the elite leagues have finished. Cork, 1.68 favourite. Did they concede first? No, they didn't. Coffee scored first. So there's no winner there for the 1.68 favourites. An obvious play. This was probably the standout banker bet of the day. And Salernitana read the script very nicely. Scoring the first goal. And then Scamacca and Cooper Miners getting the win, as you'd expect for Atalanta. Plenty to play for Atalanta. Salernitana are relegated. We've got the small matter of Champions League football for Atalanta, with Roma and Lazio breathing down their necks. And it's getting windier and windier here. I think the storms are coming after the hot season in Thailand. I'm just going to close the door. Well, watch out too for new manager syndrome at Udinese. Fabio Cannavaro, of all people. Great success for playing for Udinese yesterday as well. Great success. 92nd minute. Fabulous stuff. I think it is Cannavaro as the new manager, unless I misread that. Indeed, very famous face. And a good result. But another draw for Udinese. That's something they're going to have to look at ending. Well, they did get a positive draw rather than leading and then conceding. They came back with Mr. Great Success getting that 92nd minute equaliser. I'm not sure I would have laid Napoli there, but it's just a gentle reminder to you, Crystal Palace, Udinese, new managers can instill real change. Excelsior and NEC Nijmegen, the only side to beat PSV Eindhoven this season. But I don't think there was an angle in really unless you laid the draw second half. And you'd have had a guaranteed profit at the 0-2. And that red card would have compounded your profits multiple times. So lay the draw second half would have been the possible play there. Elsewhere, not much else to really inspire. Still early in the Superettan and the Allsvenskan. Fenerbahce didn't get a goal yesterday. That was a bit of a surprise. 1.4 favourites. It's all in the in-play stats, and it looked as if it's one-way traffic. Only 6 shots on target throughout, only 2 second half. So on this stats alone, I'm not sure I would have laid that draw. Rather, if you delay, you can lay late on and keep that liability very low indeed. On to today, and it's a very tough coupon today, so you're unlikely to be seeing me this evening. I find these matches very, very tough to read, but look at the odds now for the Paris Saint-Germain Dortmund match. It's swung. Where it was 2.5 last week, it's swung all the way favouring Paris Saint-Germain. Why? Because they must score the next goal. They are 1-0 down to Dortmund, but Dortmund are coming off the back of a 5-1 win at the weekend. I wonder if that's going to pay any dividends fielding a near first 11 when you've got a semi-final playoff place. And domestically, you don't need to win any more points. You can't, nobody can catch you. You've got a nice gap for the Champions League places. So we will see whether Dortmund's 5-1 win over Augsburg at the weekend was justified tonight. Of course, a clean sheet will do Dortmund today. A 0-0 will do for Dortmund. Paris Saint-Germain will be seeking 2 goals, I think, in case Dortmund score as well. Algrit and Helsingborg, 2.5 the favourite, as you know, very, very early in the season. I'm not going to be attempting to unpack this one. And we've got the playoffs continuing. At least we've got a preview for English League One. Let's have a look at the first leg. 3-1 to Bolton. So that immediately puts Barnsley on the back foot. Barnsley must score the next 2 goals. Bolton could do with a 0-0. Bolton can afford a 0-1 defeat. So many permutations, but the market's clearly with Bolton here. They're very impressed with that first leg result, 3-1 win. So all to play for Barnsley. They've got to score the first 2 goals. They're not favoured today. Crawley and Milton Keynes Dons. This is the first leg of the League Two playoff semi-finals. And get a coin. Heads, 1-0. Tails, 1-3. I don't know the scoreline. I don't know who's going to win. It's a one-off match. It's a derby-style match. Very, very tough to unpack. Do you back 0-0 pre-match? Look at the Oxford Peterborough 1-0. Is it going to go that way? It is a first leg match. So the onus really is on Crawley to get a positive result with home advantage. I don't even think head-to-heads will be useful to us. But a 2-0 win for MK Dons at home and a 2-1 win for Crawley at home. So that doesn't tell us much either. Both sides sharing the spoils. Very, very tough match to unpack. So you'll excuse me if you don't see me this evening. We've got 3 very difficult matches. All derby-style matches, all one-off, high-profile affairs where anything could happen. It's unlike domestic league football where we've got a whole raft of stats, previous patterns to work off, and a challenge table which shows you how teams get on against other teams in different positions in the league. Those of you who like over 2.5 goals, well, you've got the Professional Development League at 1 o'clock. We tend to see over 2.5 goals. If you're interested in 2.5 goals, do just check the recent head-to-heads. And if it's chock full of goals, might give yourself a green light. Look at this. 5-4-4-5 total goals recently for Bristol City. 6-5-4-2-4 recent goals for Colchester under-21s. Sorry, Barnsley under-21s. No, Charlton under-21s. I'll get there eventually. They're highlighting the winner, which put me off. So Charlton under-21s. So that's all, the only research you need to do. 2.5 goal tactics. Well, you either back them pre-match over 2.5 goals, or you wait 10 or 15 minutes. If you're lucky enough to get a 0-0, then get on at enhanced odds. Hope you get a goal before half-time, because that will severely impact on the over 2.5 goal odds. That's not the kind of trading I pursue. Pre-match observations. I'm reacting. But you can see this league, the Dutch Eerste Divisie and the English Premier League 2 are extremely good 2.5 goal leagues. If you can come up with a strategy for 2.5 goals, then by all means get stuck in. Elsewhere, we've got Schalke against Osnabrück, 1.8 favourite Schalke in the German Bundesliga 2. Let's have a look at Need. Who are they playing? Schalke? Osnabrück. So let's have a look. Schalke should be up here, really. They're ex of the Bundesliga, but no, they're down in 12th place, and they're still 5 points above the relegation zone with a game in hand. So if they can break the 40-point barrier, they should have 1 foot in the safety zone this season. It's been a poor season. Osnabrück must win to bring them up to 28 points and within grasp of Hansa Rostock. Their goal, Osnabrück, you'd feel, is to get this promotion playoff place in 16th. At least one more swing of the bat to stay up, but it's looking terminal. So this has a feel of a dead rubber about it, this one. Do please read the previews when they're available, particularly in these lower tier leagues. They are superb. Well, we've got more matches such as these Scottish Premiership relegations. 2.3 the favourite, again first leggers I believe. Problem we're going to have with these matches will be a lack of liquidity. It's just not going to catch the attention of Betfair traders, generally speaking. Besiktas 1.6 favourite at 6.30. This is the Turkish Cup, so just be a little wary with the Cup. And I know you and I, well, we didn't get any sleep last night because we were looking forward to Gaddafi playing the Maroons at 1.91. Be great if it was Gaddafi playing the Maracas at 1.91. I'd be tuning in for that one. So quiet day today. Let's have a look at the tennis. Don't forget, this is the part of the year for tennis trading. As you can see, I've got my Have I Got News For You from YouTube. It keeps me alive. So we've got qualifiers still for the tennis. Let's have a look at yesterday's. Although it's very difficult, I don't really trust qualifiers. But let's have a look at these short odds. As you can see already, Thanasi Kokkinakis, mate. Struth, mate. I didn't get through there, mate. Get Struth. Lost in a tiebreaker at the end there, Thanasi Kokkinakis. Now, the way to reduce your liability, if you think that the market's accurate, but trusting 94th in the world, it's very tight rankings despite the odds. At any stage, did Thanasi lead in the second set? That's what we'd be interested in, because that would give us a handle. No, he lost his serve second. Oh dear. So a poor display from Thanasi Kokkinakis, mate. That just reminds you, tight rankings, anything outside the top 50, you've got to be a little wary with. So I wouldn't be playing many of these. We'll have a look at the very, very short priced favourites, the 1.09s, etc. They normally, the value is in laying them, isn't it? Anything under 1.1. And nearly Fatic taking him to a tiebreaker. That would have been fantastic for the lay of 1.1. And Nakashima. Marasova, well, job done again. 1.06, 1.04, that's what you expect. Comfort. And 1.04, that's what you expect. 6161. The gaps are so huge. 799th against 88th in the world. So it's obvious such a shorty. So we're just waiting for the qualifiers to end, and then we'll have the Rome, ATP Rome singles, and that's going to be very exciting. I don't know when it kicks off. It's still qualifiers Tuesday, Wednesday. It kicks off on Wednesday. Now, don't forget, in April to September, you've got 3 Grand Slam tournaments, which means all of this lot will be giving 100%. They need to build momentum in the run-up to the French Open. This is why these tournaments are here. Rome on clay, Madrid, Monte Carlo. It's all preparation for the big one on clay. I do like Struff. He would automatically gain my eye at 1.17. He's been absolutely superb. Watch out for this, Mr. Ice Cream, Napolitano playing Berrettini. 2 Italians. Normally when I see fellow countrymen playing each other, well, particularly at these rankings as well, I would be looking to lay Berrettini, particularly if he won the first set. Better still, if he won the first set and he held serve for his first service game in the second set, then you'd be laying him or backing Mr. Ice Cream. Fellow country people, fellow countrymen, fellow countrywomen do tend to know each other a lot more. We've got it there as well. That's more in keeping. 1.8 the favourite, suggesting tough to call. That's old Foggy, Fabio Fognini. He's got a bit of a temper. So I think Danny Evans will give him a good run for his money today, old Foggy. 67th against 92nd. I think he could be vulnerable today. I think he's on the decline, old Foggy, and Evans is on the incline. So that would be one I would target as a possible 3-setter. Particularly taking on Foggy if he wins the first set. Shapovalov, strange to see him not favourite against Darderi. Is that down to an injury concern? We're seeing a lot more Italians, aren't we, of course? at Rome. So do watch out. Home support can instill some huge changes. I think Shapovalov must be coming off the back of an injury. Thanks to Paul Dunwoody for showing us this part, where you scroll on the team's name, or you click on the player's name, and you can get some injury news. So July 2023 was his knee injury. I don't know if that's going to be impactful on this particular day. But Evans Foggy, I would be targeting. And I suppose the key to success with tennis trading, as with football, don't play every single match. To play the matches that you've got an idea that there will be a potential upset. We can go as deep into the research as possible, but once the elite leagues are finished, I will be passing my tennis writings on to you at footballtradingprofits.com. Looking at the ladies' singles, anything catch the eye? Again, look for the Italians, the locals, Bronzetti, Brancaccio. That could be interesting. Against a 1.13 shot, Siniakova, 36th against 292nd. But she might just play above herself, Brancaccio, being an Italian lady in Rome. So again, that could be targetable as a low risk, late to nothing, particularly if Siniakova wins the first set, or indeed if Brancaccio breaks early. You'll be looking for that potential. And Irani as well against Anasimova. Naomi Osaka, I wouldn't trust as far as I could throw her. So those would be the ones for me to target. Football-wise, you're unlikely to be hearing from me today. Very tough evening matches. Second leg Champions League semi-final. You know as well as I do, PSG must score first. So you've got the possibility of targeting a goal before half-time, perhaps, in PSG's favour, although we don't have the stats to back that up. That would just be a logical assumption on my part to get back on parity as quickly as possible. Kylian Mbappe is highly likely to be on the score sheet. I think he's scored 8 in the Champions League already this season. English League One, English League Two, playoffs, very, very tough to unpack. I simply don't know. Even though Bolton have put in as very, very strong favourites based on that 3-1 first leg result. But you'd expect Barnsley to try to give something second set. They must score the first 2 goals. So you're unlikely to hear from me this evening, I'm afraid. It's just too tough to call. And I just alluded to it in the tennis. Pick your battles. Pick readable matches. Like Salernitana Atalanta yesterday. That is very, very readable. Relegated side against an away side who has to win to get a Champions League spot. That's the kind of motivating factor you need. So I'm not going to say never, but if you don't hear from me this evening, you'll know why. It's a very, very tough set of 3 high-profile, all-to-play-for matches where we don't have a backbone of form to work off. Have a great evening and good luck if you're playing the tennis. Probably tomorrow would be the best time to start tennis trading once we get the qualifiers out of the way. Have a great Tuesday.